Trevor Zegras has been traded to the Philadelphia Flyers. Wow. This from Elliot Friedman. How many minutes ago? 11. The Anaheim Ducks will receive Ryan Poehling, the 45th overall selection, which is a second rounder this year, and a fourth rounder in 2026, which is next summer's draft. Flyers incredibly thin down the middle. I don't know what Trevor Zegras is. I know he has been good in this league. It was a while ago.
I don't want to be ignorant, but he doesn't feel like a Flyer to me.
That if Pat Verbeek doesn't want him, he's probably not a Flyer.
Now, who is the other people? I don't know them.
Ryan Poehling. He was a Montreal prospect for a while. He's kind of a depth forward at this point.
So it's a salary dump?
I mean, they're getting a second rounder, a fourth rounder, and
He was a top
player.
pick.
Yeah, he just ain't that anymore, right?
That's a trade that Conroy should have made then.
What would the equivalent be? Second rounder, Marty Pospisil, and a fourth. I don't know what Poehling is exactly.
That's the thing. What is? I don't know.
Like, have we quit on Poehling? Do people still think he's going to be very good?
I don't know.
Let's see.
It's not a tremendous.
That's nothing.
It feels like
That's a dump.
I think they've been trying to trade him for years, and they weren't getting what they were asking for, and so here we are.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's fine. Why didn't we get him?
12 goals and 31 points.
What's his contract? Maybe we don't want to go down this.
He's got some money, and he's due to be paid again really quickly.
Yeah, but at least you know. You want to get him before.
I do agree with you that that price, it's like, yeah, that's something you should be looking at.
I feel like this is not.
I also think there's probably a lot of teams that are like, don't know about this young man.
I think
He's not for everyone, is what I would suggest. He wasn't for Pat Verbeek.
Poehling's 26. He's also a center. Final year of a $1.9 million.
It's a dump.
12
it's
goals.
A salary
last year.
dump. You dumped him.
Yeah,
Why
and
didn't
honestly,
Chicago pick him up?
to be fair, Anaheim has been a team that everyone's talked about really trying to make a huge splash in free agency. And if you're going to free up the Zegras money, yeah.
Connor.
I don't think it's Connor. Connor's got a year left, but yeah.
You got to plan these things out.
Yeah, you do. Yeah. I wish them luck. I hope they can succeed in that. Ducks now sitting on $32 million in cap space, but that was probably before the Zegras dump, so more.
Yeah, the websites are catching up here right now.
Oh, Zegras
Poehling's on both. Yeah, I mean, it's for a team that's very thin down the middle. You can, if you're a Flame, you'd be asking, well,
and you have cap space.
Certainly between cap space, I'm not sure a plethora of picks is the right terminology,
couple.
but they have extra picks.
I would feel like, sorry, and I'm talking out my hoop because I don't know what we have for picks and this and that, but it feels like a guy at that price, you should have went and got him, given him a chance to come here. And if you didn't like it, move him. Let his stock go up.
Yep. They don't have a second rounder this year because they gave it to Philly in the Frost Farabee deal. You don't want to move one of your firsts. I think it's clear you weren't going to get a first for Zegras. And I don't think you want to give up any, well, I don't know.
Zegras,
you could have got him.
24 last year at 5.75 will be an RFA with arbitration at the end of the year.
Perfect. And after having incredible early seasons in his career, 61 and 65 points his first two full seasons, 12 goals, 31 points last year. That's the same as Poehling.
I mean, we talk about, I mean, Sam Bennett's a different character, but we talked last week. Why don't you go out and maybe find that first rounder who was highly touted and then this is a candidate.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't think he was particularly happy. We talked about it last year. There was that one goal we showed where he scores a goal and he's just kind of, there's no enthusiasm. He's a highly skilled guy. It would seem like maybe the motor and give a shit meter is called into question once in a while.
So but to play the other side, what's in Anaheim, they've been horse shit. Like,
he's been passed by their younger
which doesn't give you the okay to not show up and try, but
like I would say the Leo Carlson, Mason McTavish has passed him, and they found a way to work hard. He feels like, man, it feels like he's mailed it in for a bit.
How's he going to mesh with his head coach in Philadelphia?
Well,
given that'd be Rick Tocchet, as I recall.
Touche.
Does not feel like a Rick Tocchet guy, and I'm guessing Tocchet would have been brought in on the
He's got a project here.
Decision.
For sure. Yeah.
Right? It doesn't really.
I don't know.
And to Rhett's point, if it doesn't work, you just move him at the deadline.
Yeah, who cares?
But you're right. It doesn't feel like a flyer nor a talk-it player.
Right.
If he was having a tough time with Elias Pettersson, I think he's closer to that than he is a JT Miller.
So there you go. Zegras.
My gut tells me we should have taken. We could. I don't know.
My gut kind of feels the same way. Oddly,
At that price, hell yeah, yeah, sure.
Like you're talking about needing difference makers and scoring
and centers.
Yeah, no,
and he's not expensive. I don't get like maybe for his production, but for his potential, he's not expensive. And it's only 1 year, and the Philly didn't give up that much.
Yeah, and I will say this: I don't know that he's a center, but I know he has played some center.
Right.
Play him at center.
Well, okay, so you've got. I'm sure, but you got Frost, Kadri, and Backlund. So who are you
Trevor
moving?
Zegras can play. Those, I'm finding a way to.
You can.
And I agree with you. This is the type of cut you should try to make because it's not expensive. But
this is a non-playoff team where how can we fit him in? You need to be looking at things a different lens in Calgary. I think
they should be, but I don't know that they are.
Is Backlund maybe more of a fourth line? There's ways.
Do you say Nazem? Let's turn you into some assets, for sure.
This is the problem. I think that to me, that's why they didn't get him. Is because they think they're in a different spot than we do.
They've got 3 centers better than them,
and they think that they're going to build and get better and make the playoffs, and we're going, well, let's try some stuff.
Let's see how many face-offs he had last year.
There again, because he maybe wasn't playing the position on one team,
doesn't mean
Sam Bennett doesn't mean he can't play that position in his new location. Sam Bennett. That really, it's probably apples and oranges, but it's a first rounder who was a higher pick,
and I don't care if he even
tons of skill.
Yeah, I think he's a winger now. He took less than 15% of team faceoffs this year. He doesn't even qualify to show up on their faceoff leaders.
So don't be.
No, that's fine. And look, he's still he can be a crafty winger, and that's great. But I think the days of looking at like Zegras being a star, that what this trade tells you is the league doesn't think that's a likely outcome.
Neither was Sam Bennett.
Correct.
Again, I get it.
Agreed. Like, is it Nolan Patrick? Like we see all these highly touted guys in the top 10 that don't make it almost every year. There's a couple.
Patrick had concussion issues. I think.
They all
not
have,
to say.
Yeah.
Like Zegras has been hurt the last 2 years. He hasn't played a lot. I think 30-some games and 50-some games the last 2 years. But I don't know. Talking to some people around the organization, there was a question, I think, of whether Trevor Zegras burned to be a great hockey player or loved being a celebrity in Greater Los Angeles. And you can do both. And that's not to say he can't be a good hockey player, but
he's still only 24.
He's a New York guy too. You think Conroy loves his New York guy?
Well, I don't know. I don't. Maybe Philly's offer was the best. I don't.
Yeah, well, it has to be, I think. Yeah.
But you feel I would. I'm just thinking New York. I'm like, what about Buffalo? Like, why isn't like, if that's all you're having to give up to get maybe he's no good.
Yeah.
But he's 24.
You know what it reminds me of is the deal they made here with Kuzmenko, in the sense that even if the guy might not be a fit for you, you can get more assets by flipping him later.
Yes.
Like the Flyers did really well with bringing in Kuzmenko.
And that might be exactly what you're thinking. A second and a fourth for Paling?
Yeah, and then you might get another
second
and a fourth.
And the thing with Paling is you're putting Zegras in that spot. So you would think at worst that's a saw-off if the deal doesn't work.
Free assets.
You gave up a second and a fourth.
So you eat a little cap
for a
play the piss
for a dice roll, and then could you get a second or a third?
Well, look, if he looks great again, you could get more. Yeah, hell yeah.
Well, there you go. That's a trade that's done.
Done. Job, Jack.
Cross them off your list out there. If you got your list, give them one of those.
Do you have a trade list?
Watch
it now, mister.
Hey, buddies. Thanks for watching. We appreciate it. Also, if you could throw in a like and subscribe, it does help us out with what it is we are doing. And check out more at flamesnation.ca.